IT is one of the biggest sectors in today's world. The way India is growing, I think it is one thing that you need to learn, and if you want to invest, you can invest. हम यूएस से compete करते थे, आज यूएस हमसे compete कर रही है just to take technology back to their house. इंडिया के आधे बिल्डिंग्स में से अमेरिका के आधे बिजनेस मॉनिटर होते देख गए. Either you invest in gold, but somebody can steal it. Could Sachin make his son become an international player? No.
What's the most desi jugaad financial hack that you have ever pulled off?
नरवाना है. लोग सोचते नहीं है कि वहाँ जुतियाँ बनती हैं. 3 things will be part of the Indian taxation era for the life. When you have this belief कि बिना करे डबल ट्रिपल हो जाएगा, हाथ का मैल है. जितना रगड़ोगे, जितना मेहनत करोगे, उतना मल्टीप्लाई.
For today's episode, we are joined by a man who's worn many hats. Some political, some entrepreneurial, and all of them well earned. He has served as the Deputy Chief Minister of Haryana, making waves with a focus on youth empowerment, promotion of sports, and infrastructure development. But beyond the political arena, he's also a savvy businessman, bringing a sharp sense of strategy to both governance and growth. Please welcome Mr. Dushyant Chautala, a man who knows what it means to balance the public good with private wisdom, and whose story might just change how you think about power, purpose, and Paisa. So we welcome you, sir, on our very first episode of Money Matters, and we are really thankful and grateful for you to accept our invitation to be our esteemed guest.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So we'll just start a conversation and we'll just dig a little bit into your roots and the mindset you come from. As we all know that you belong to a powerful political lineage. So we would just like to know, during your childhood days, when you were growing up, what sort of talks regarding money were happening around in your household?
My era of growing up is the era where you saw drastic industrialization and big changes. Because I was born in 88, so the 90s was the big financial change of Indian economy. And the market was open to global markets, and you had international players coming in, new Indian players coming up, and big Indian players not being into existence as they were in the past decades. So it was an interesting time, and then you see the new millennium coming in of 2000 and cyber movement and all the new development in the last 25 years, which India has seen. And I think that has been the backbone of Indian economy where we compete with the globe today. And as you see, before 2000, our economy was not considered even as a developing economy. But today, we are into talks of having our economy as a developed economy in coming years. We are the 4th biggest economy of the world. And in the manpower sector, the youngest country to provide maximum manpower in any sector possible, either be it services, IT, ITS, or the industrial part. So I think we have seen that even in my household, either my family is more or less been into the agriculture sector. But yes, some businesses, I've seen them trying hands, they've succeeded. Some businesses, it's up and down. There was a rocky road and you get back to... And being a politician, I don't think so you get that much time to see so much of business being talked into your family.
So it was more of politics that was discussed.
And I think I'm the 4th generation politician now who spends more or less the same amount of time in politics than look for new opportunities.
So there were few discussions at your place regarding money.
Money is a backbone of any household to work. I've always called my mother my finance minister.
Exactly. Yes.
Because
that is what we want to know.
She wants the one that has to safeguard and save. But I think my father was a good investor in terms of buying. That time, the major source of income was buying land. Whatever you earn from agriculture, you invest into your land.
So you saw your parents discussing these things?
Very less.
Very less. Okay.
Those are closed door discussions.
Not even closed door, because that time money was not that big. And that time we did not have such options where money would multiply so rapidly. As of our generation, because anybody who has invested into a Bitcoin must have seen it go multiple times. But that time, doing a bank FD or buying a policy or putting your money into a safe or a locker, that was the thing people would talk most about. Or either buy a chunk of land. Because I've heard this statement in my house that land is your that kid which you don't take care about, but it will take care of yourself whenever you are in need.
You still believe in it?
Oh, yes, that's the most secure investment a human can do.
Okay.
Either you invest in gold, but somebody can steal it. But if you invest in land, nobody can steal it.
So with generational wealth comes both access and responsibility. आपने सबसे पहला डिसीजन पैसे को लेके कब किया? Maybe personal, maybe political. When was it the first time you took a major decision regarding money?
If I say I went to America in 2006, and that time the economy was of a shrink. I still remember renting a house or buying a house was equal costly for me because the dollar was at 38 rupees. So that time I took a decision that jointly we were two friends, we bought a house and invested there that we just have to give installments. And luckily the dollar was so low, so paying installments was not paining you. And once I graduated and I sold that house, and you would not believe me, the dollar was 64.
Wow.
So all my travel, all my education was all paid off by the dollar increase and the investment I did because the property value went up, the dollar went up, and the saving was there. So I think that was an investment I can say was my first step where I succeeded.
So, Dushyant, I want to know, how did your family's legacy shape your attitudes towards saving, investing, or spending?
We've not been a family where the generational wealth would go out of agriculture sector. We've been a family that agriculture is the most important part. And today also, I spend at least 2 days a month going back to the fields, looking at my quinoa orchards and planning the future forward. And yes, I take risks into agriculture also. That now I've planned that in 5 acres, I would get date palms from Saudi Arabia, the tissue culture plants, and put them. And let's see after 5 years, will it be a viable option for me than having a quinoa orchard to going to a date orchard? Yes, I went to Bikaner once, bought these, what do you call, apple bears. So it's a bear, but it looks like a shape of apple. I got 1,000 plants, put it into my field, and after a month, I see somebody sprayed on the cotton, and they sprayed on the new plants. Everything died. It was zero. So farmer also needs to plan and invest on what crop would you use.
So, what's the best money lesson you have inherited from your family?
Invest smart. Invest in something that you see future of, and always analyze before investing. Because I think most of the people in today's world are investing heavily without understanding the integrities of what is going to be the future of
The herd mentality.
Yes.
Where the
See,
people are
I've
investing,
missed options, I've missed good options, but that was my bad luck, I can say, where I could not study because I did not have time. If I would have time, I would have invested much in a better manner.
As we all know that your family has been associated with politics since decades, and you have seen that economic shift happening from liberalization to globalization to digital India. So, आपके हिसाब से क्या change आया है when your father and your grandfather were active in politics, and now when you are active in politics in handling money, the way money is being handled within politics? Politics, I mean the grants that have been given, maybe.
No, I think that has been very on a different scale. I still remember hearing from people that Chaudhry Devilal ji came in and they said, ये काम कितने का है, 5 लाख का, और 5 लाख की grant next day was delivered. Chautala Sahab was chief minister and he went to every village and said, सरकार आपके द्वार में, आपको कितना पैसा चाहिए जी, सड़क बनानी है 15 लाख. And there was a man sitting behind him signing a check regularly.
That's really, I was thinking it was the other way around, because now we are in digitalization, so it must be quicker now.
No. Now there are hurdles because that time there was no check and balances. Because of digitalization, there are more check and balances. पहले grant गई, grant सरपंच को मिली, अधिकारी को मिली, किसको मिली? उसको चेक करने वाला कोई नहीं था।
पर वो ग्रांट्स किस रूट से आती थी उस टाइम?
ग्रांट्स तो हेड से आती है।
नहीं मतलब तब भी अकाउंट टू अकाउंट ट्रांसफर्स होते
हाँ,
थे,
चेक से आते थे।
चेक से आती थी
आज भी
ग्रांट्स,
चेक
और
से
आगे
आते
भी
हैं।
आप चेक्स इशू करते
हाँ,
थे।
आज डिजिटली ट्रांसफर भी हो जाते हैं, बट मोर और लेस यू कैन ट्रांसफर थ्रू चेक्स आल्सो।
ओके।
बट उस टाइम पे क्या था, इट वाज वन वे। अब क्या हो गया, इट इज फोर वे। सो फर्स्ट अ प्रोजेक्ट दैट कम्स इन विल बी साइंड, वेट गो डाउन, उसका एस्टिमेट बनेगा, will be sent back to head office, sign होगा, approval होगा, then the grant will be issued, and then there is another checking कि वो ग्रांट 30% यूज हुई है तो 30% पैसा रिलीज होगा, 66 हुई है 66 होगा, तो वन थर्ड हिस्से में पैसा रिलीज होता है।
But then that makes it more transparent.
It is good.
Now.
That's why we are saying we are into a technology savvy world. We have, when I took over PWD, first thing I installed in the department was, earlier there was measurement books. So everything was written in a book. JE would go to a station, say, अच्छा टेबल 1 फुट बाय 1.5 फुट बाय 2 फुट का है जी, ठीक है, JE साहब साइन कर देंगे। I said, why do you need that? Click a picture, put number, send it. And within one day, it can go from a JE up to the chief of the department and back with approval. Ki, theek hai, it is done. We've seen the picture, next installment. We have saved time. Things have started moving faster. And there is more transparency. Anybody wants to put an RTI, giving his answer is 2 minutes, because you, in a click, you print it out and send it to him. So these are the things where digitally it helped us. I still remember when we were looking at the taxation department, there used to be teams running around in every district and trying to stop cars, see if they're evading some taxes. We don't need to do that. If somebody has been evading, we could easily track them from 2 toll taxes. So if they have gone off radar, on radar, in between 2 toll taxes, you are caught. So we have used those business tools, you can say, BIs, where to catch people.
So digitalization has helped us
Oh, a
in
lot.
politics. So growing up in a political family, डिनर टेबल टॉक्स कैसी होती थी? CNBC टाइम्स और लाइक मिडिल क्लास नॉर्मल घर की बातें?
तो नॉर्मल घर की बातें।
So no politics discussed on dinner tables,
never.
no money discussed on dinner tables.
None.
Nothing.
क्या किया, कैसे किया, and more or less मेरे साथ तो ऐसा वाक्य है कि out of my 37 years, I've just lived in my house for 8 years.
Oh.
So at 9 I was sent to a hostel, and then when I came back from America, was put into politics by chance. So it is very rare today also that when I go back home, either sitting with my parents, they would be watching Kaun Banega Crorepati or some other show, and you just sit and discuss basic things with them.
Okay.
And now, yes, being into politics, now I would say it is more or less political discussion. But CNBC in the full, I think, so Devlal clan, you might not see, except one or two, you might not see anybody who has been CNBC types.
Okay. So your family has been connected to youth and sports. So what are your thoughts on philanthropy in these areas? Should leaders do more in supporting sports initiatives and NGOs?
Oh, yes. I think if you see Indian sports fraternity as a whole, I can say the sports which were helped and backed by politicians or
and Haryana is a big
leaders,
example.
Those sports in past 3 decades have grown to a level where we are into that international arena and getting medals. You can say cricket, either being the Sharad Pawar family or now being the Amit Shah family, either be boxing, either be table tennis, either be football, either be hockey. These games have been backed, and yes, the politicians can get the funds from big industries who can give their CSR, who can help us grow and even help the players to go compete in international tournaments.
But in the recent past, the way sports has been doing well in Haryana, so do politicians have a role to play?
Definitely, it's not एक हाथ से ताली बजेगी.
I agree, but then
अगर आप गेम उठाकर देखेंगे तो all these sports which have got us medals in the past, you will see some political backing to the sports fraternity, one way or the other.
But usually we have seen only the families pushing their kids to this, and even
I have not seen a politician kid being on
not a politician, but the sportsmen, their families.
I don't see that also. So could Sachin make his son
Yeah.
become an international player? No. It is up to Arjun in his future if he can compete and move up. Could Gavaskar make his son Gavaskar? No. So you can't say that tomorrow Sania Nehwal's maybe daughter or son would be better. Or Mr. Padukone's Deepika would have been a better player than a better actress. It's all up to your talent. But yes, people try, doctors try to make their kids a doctor. A businessman will try to push their kids into business. But it is up to the kid if they can cope up with the competition there.
So in Haryana, do you see philanthropy in sports? Are there industrialists or politicians coming up to fund sports persons?
A lot of people who are helping us because I've been into table tennis since 2012.
Yes, and I think you are on board, if I'm not wrong, that you are...
I was the president of Table Tennis Federation of India. I'm still the chairman, still the president of COMTAP, the Commonwealth Table Tennis Federation. I was Haryana Table Tennis Federation's HTTA's president. And I have seen, if I've requested somebody for 5 lakh or 2 lakh rupees to host a tournament, I think they have supported us because they see a future in table tennis. And today with that help and support, table tennis in last 2.5 decades, if you calculate the amount of medals, we were not even participating into Olympics before 2000. Okay. And today, in every category of Olympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth, or any other international tournaments, India has every seat. So that is the support, I think, which we could give, the backing we could give from the outside to our players. But yes, I would again say we would require more investors to come in. We have seen a league being started in table tennis. Yes. That league has been running for 10 years. And we have seen new talent out of that league coming up. For the first time in Asian Championship, we won a bronze medal. We could even face China before, and now we're winning against China. That is a big tick. I think that India could put on its big feather put on its hat.
So you have balanced a public office and private enterprise. What, according to you, is the biggest financial misconception people have about politicians? Politicians पैसा उड़ाते हैं या बचाते हैं या कमाते हैं?
मैं ये मानता हूँ कि हर एक की जिंदगी में होता है कि पॉलिटिशियन को बिजनेस नहीं करना चाहिए. But I think everybody needs bread and butter for their houses also. पुराने टाइम के पॉलिटिशियंस क्या करते थे, घर के आगे दुकानें बना देते थे, रेंटल आता था. That was their business model. आज के दिन वही आप कह दो, इंग्लिश का शब्द जो बड़ा यूज होता है किराएदार के लिए, वो है कॉर्पोरेट लीजिंग. So you start corporate leasing. So I think that has been a model for a very long time, but we have seen successful politicians into business. Mr. Pawar has been a sugar baron. He has gone into the cooperative system. Mr. Gadkari has been a successful businessman.
I think now the roles are reversed. Businessmen are becoming politicians.
It has been always there, but I still remember we have seen Birla fighting elections and losing.
Losing, yes, but
it is all up to the public. कि वो support किसको और किस तरीके से करती है.
So according to you,
अब तो actors have become politicians.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
That also
and everyone wants power.
Now singers have become politicians. Yes. So वो role होता है that if you want to stick into a role or not. But I think managing a business is also not an easy job. You need a full-time, trustful person to oversee your work. And I think if you as a politician can get that, then yes, your role becomes much easier. But if you don't get a trustful person and you have to involve yourself, then either you become a politician or you become a businessman. So we have seen politicians who invested into business failing only because they could not click at the right time with the right person.
So according to you, the misconception is that a politician cannot be a businessman. So that's a misconception.
Oh, yes. Anybody can be a businessman. You need a good team for that. I always say that. If you have a good, trustful team who will give their 100% for their growth and your growth, I think you can succeed in any business. But if you don't have a trustful team, or if you do not have a good communication skill, then yes, people would cheat you or people would not feel to work for you.
Right.
Has being in power changed how you approach personal finance and investment?
Being in power or being outside power, looking into finances of why your business was always in one line, that was a straight line. where you see your books every day, and वो कहते हैं ना बही खाता मैच करो, तो उसके अंदर you get a bigger picture. But we've not ever been into a finance where a lot of banks or anybody is involved. So I think that has not been on the head every day, where you need to run, you need to find somebody to give you a loan, or run around to see कि oh कल लोन की किस्त कैसे भरोगे.
So, how do you make financial decisions when you know that your decision will affect thousands of people? I mean, is it different when you make a decision personally and when you take a decision for the public good?
So are you asking me about a political decision or a personal?
Yes, but for money. Maybe it's like governments fund money.
No, I took a lot of decisions, I think, in 4.5 years, either being in excise or taxation or
I'll come
in
to that.
labor. So those decisions have affected a lot of people into a very positive manner.
But
So
there's
we
a
came up
difference of
with
personal decision and a political decision. I mean, your thought process remains same. or different?
every decision is personal decision. When you imply it might be a political decision, might be a business decision. So that can be different, but it has to be a personal decision. So you come, you brainstorm in a group, then you decide. वो एक कहावत है, सुनो सबकी करो मन की. So you get everybody's view, but personally think over it and then decide. So yes, when I was changing the labor system, the labor board system, everybody said, नहीं जी, PWD rates पे अगर आपने सेस लगा दिया, तो बिल्डरों पे तो बहुत ज्यादा पेनल्टी लग जाएगी. मतलब किसके लिए लगेगी? लेबर के लिए. And I was so happy. From 3,200 in 1.5 years, my labor cess was collected at 4,800. So 1,600 crore रुपया मैं सिर्फ PWD rates के साथ लेबर सेस के रेट्स लाके ला पाया. Was it a good decision or a bad decision? Very good decision. और बाद में पता चलता है मेरी ही एक बिल्डिंग पे I had to pay extra. But yes, that is an equal part that everybody had to bear. When I went into looking into excise, और जिस तरह मूवमेंट चलती थी, ट्रैक एंड ट्रेस लगाया, मुझे बहुत लोगों ने कहा नहीं लगाओ जी, बहुत एफटी है, ये है, सरकार पे बोझ आएगा. मैं कहा सरकार पे बोझ नहीं आता, पीने वाले पे बोझ आएगा, 10 पैसे का आएगा. बट टुडे आई सी दैट लेबलिंग विद अ QR, a 10 paisa extra on a label put on a beer bottle or a whiskey or a wine bottle could save 6,000 crores to the state. तो आपको चाहिए क्या? 6,100 say, if I could take it to 12,500, that was a big achievement.
Yes.
So I think you have to take good, hard decisions, which increases the financial backing of your system.
Okay, so which is by far the most or the weirdest startup idea that has approached you for funding?
Weirdest,
Like funniest or the
तो मैं
weirdest?
नहीं कहूँगा, but yes, there was a startup which came up with a bottle cap.
Okay.
And bottle cap के अंदर they had this whole 3D hallmark and everything, and they said we want to go into this, ये कोक की life बदल देगा.
Okay.
And looking at that, I was like, what's big in this? Because it's just a cap with 21 rings and a 3D hallmark on that. Yes, that was very different.
So you didn't invest?
No.
What's the most desi jugaad financial hack that you have ever pulled off?
देसी जुगाड़.
I mean, some सुनते आ रहे हैं कब से और आप कर रहे हो उसको.
मुझे तो लगता है सबसे देसी जुगाड़ तो जमीन खरीदना है. फाइनेंशियल buy a
So,
piece of land, wait for a couple of years, sell it off, make a double out of it.
That's actually desi jugaad.
Not your FD can give you that.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most smartest thing what people in small towns do. In good times when they have savings, they would either buy a plot or buy a small shop. But yes, people have failed who have invested in cities like Gurgaon, where such big commercials were coming up. Those commercials are not yet finished. So desi jugaad bounce back bhi karta
hai, right. But
and
so you
from a smart man, I have learned, buy land, but don't buy space.
Okay.
That is something where if you foresee, a lot of people were into messes only because the space they were offered were never completed on time. And their financial mismanagement happened only because of the builders not completing on time. But whoever invested into flat space, land spaces like plots and shops and SEOs, I think those people had multiplied their money in a good manner.
So what sectors and themes excites you the most in Indian economy? Don't say real estate, please.
IT is one of the biggest sectors where in today's world, the way India is growing, I think it is one thing that you need to learn, and if you want to invest, you can invest. आप देखो दिन ब दिन जिस तरह की एप्स आ रही हैं, जिस तरह की फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड कर रही हैं, nobody in the world could imagine being competing with India. I think हम यूएस से compete करते थे, आज यूएस हमसे compete कर रही है just to take technology back to their house. इंडिया के आधे बिल्डिंग्स में से अमेरिका के आधे बिजनेस मॉनिटर होते देखते हैं. If we start taking a step back, जैसे ट्रम्प कहता है we'll put such taxes and do this and do this. If India starts putting taxes on those services, क्या होगा उनकी इकोनॉमी का?
I think, but India will have to if Trump is not taking his words back. Yeah, I know. Sir, you are personally responsible for spearheading a lot of industry-related policies. जैसे कि आपने पद्मा चलाई, क्लस्टर प्ले एंड प्लग चलाई. So उसमें आपने MSMEs को बहुत push किया. You wanted them to really do well, so funds were made available on subsidy and everything. But I want to know that how did you analyze कि किस MSME को आप फंड करना चाहते हो और क्या risks involved हैं और outcomes positive, मतलब वो analysis का process क्या था?
Policies की बात है. देखिए, policies is a brainstorming idea from the industry which you get, and then you plan your finance on it. कि मैंने जमीन के बदले में रजिस्ट्री वापस करनी है उसकी जो सरकार को आती है, या पावर के अंदर मैंने उसको 1-2 रुपए की सब्सिडी देनी है, या उसके लिए सड़कें बना के देनी है, या उसके सीवेज का और इस तरह का जो इंटरनल डेवलपमेंट है उसका चार्जेस वेव ऑफ करना है, या एक्सटर्नल डेवलपमेंट में उसकी मदद करनी है. दैट इज व्हाट इज द गवर्नमेंट्स रोल. इंडस्ट्री आएगी, इंडस्ट्री सेटअप होगी, वो उसकी किस्मत है, वो चले ना चले, बट वी कैन सपोर्ट इन दैट. Whereas coming into policies, जैसे IT में हमने किया, हमने incubation के लिए 5 करोड़ रखे. Incubation was not an idea 10 years before, but today is.
Yes.
अगर हम इंडस्ट्री के बीच में incubators ले आते हैं तो we would see things multiplying very fast. जैसे आपने टच किया प्लग एंड प्ले, दुनिया भर में ऑफिसेज बनते हैं, बेसिक फैसिलिटीज होती है, पीपल कम इन either for a project or a year or 6 months. If they succeed, they will stay. If they fail, they'll plug it out, sell it off and go. So that was one concept that we came up with, plug and play. उसी के साथ then I came up with Padma, as you said. Padma क्या था कि there is a restriction around India कि आप इंडस्ट्री का क्लस्टर नहीं बना सकते. CLU लो और लो, 10 other प्रतिबंध थे. But we planned, and I think I had a good team of officers with me at that time, जिनने बैठ के day and night went around the state, discussed with the key industries, and then we found out that yes, Haryana has 100 plus blocks, and every block has 1 or 2 products which are very viable. Padma एक brainchild था where small industries could be set up into a cluster zone. So we started looking into Haryana, and 100 plus blocks we had. तो हर block में एक दो products हमें दिखी which could become an opportunity for everybody if they could cluster around into one locality. और उसमें हमने आइडिया डाला कि गवर्नमेंट का ही एक एग्जीबिशन हॉल होगा और गवर्नमेंट का ही एक पैकेजिंग सेंटर होगा विच एवरीबडी कुड यूज आइदर फॉर लोकल सप्लाई और एक्सपोर्ट्स. तो उस पॉलिसी के अंदर नाउ इट्स वेरी गुड दैट इनटू बैकवर्ड रीजन्स, लाइक सिरसा की बात करूँ तो ओडा में या इलाहाबाद में या टोहाना में, वेयर इंडस्ट्री वुड नॉट थिंक टू गो, दे आर गेटिंग सो मच बेनिफिट कि वो अपने इंटरनल डेवलपमेंट में 80% सरकार से वापस ले पा रही है. सो दे आर रनिंग देयर, एंड आई फोरसी कि जैसे नरवाना है, लोग सोचते नहीं है कि वहां जुतियां बनती हैं. If 20-25 people who are into this business could come up and cluster into one, it becomes an industry.
Industry, right.
So that approach has to come in, and I think that has been successful on a bigger scale in Tirupur, Tamil Nadu, where Indian cloth manufacturers just went into one umbrella, and now Tirupur is the biggest exporter of stitched clothes from India.
Right.
Earlier it was Gurgaon,
Yes.
but they took over the business because they could provide everything into one facility. और हमने उसी की नकल करी, and we succeeded जब हमने शूज का एपिसेंटर बहादुरगढ़ को बनाया.
Okay.
तो आप मानोगे नहीं, 70% of your sport shoes were imported before in India. तो तो आप जो भी स्पोर्ट्स शूज पहनते थे जो 1,000 रुपए से ऊपर वाला था, वो 70% इंडिया इंपोर्ट होता था. But today, 99% of the sports wear you buy
are made in India.
below 5,000. I cannot say कि Adidas का कोई supreme model या किसी और brand का है, but a middle class or a Indian citizen who buys today below 5,000, that is 99% made in India. Plus we are exporting. So that is a big shift into the market. और आप कभी बहादुरगढ़ जाओ and you see the big factories now which are stitching shoes without using any cloth. So it's all fiber threading being stitched on ground and then made into a shoe face and a sole.
That's really an achievement then. These policies have really helped
Haryana,
achieving.
I think if Chautala Saab in 2000 would not have supported the IT industry to come to Gurgaon, we wouldn't have 400 out of the 500 Fortune 500 companies being established here.
In Gurgaon, yes.
That Millennium City word which he used during his regime has shaped the city. And today, property into Gurgaon, it's much higher than Delhi or Noida or any other part of North India, only because of the facilities and the infrastructure built in Gurgaon.
I think after Bangalore, it's Gurgaon only for IT.
Yes, Gurgaon, Hyderabad and Bangalore, these three cities are competing every day.
Right. So it's Silicon Valley of North India,
Oh, yes.
Gurgaon. So my next question is regarding sustainable investments. So in other words, we say ESG investment. So by ESG, I mean the companies who are environment friendly, social, and who work in liaising with the government laws and policies. So I also understand that you run urban hydroponic farms. So should I understand that is a vote of confidence in this sector? That's again a sustainable
I cannot
sector?
say that hydroponics in India has been very successful into this industry, but yes, it is the future where you are burning power but saving water. In an open field today, a farmer, एक किसान जो खेती करता है वो 1 लाख लीटर फ्लडिंग करके डालता है, whereas you can just do the same amount of agriculture in 5,000 liters of water. So yes, you have been sustainable in one manner.
Yes.
But on the other side, so much electricity is used because of the extreme weathers that you are burning so much coal and polluting on a similar manner.
Okay.
तो आप एक हाथ दे रहे हो एक हाथ ले रहे हो वाली बात है. But yes, people have started understanding. People have started putting their own balcony gardens. They have started using their wastage into agriculture. And the best part is that most of the agriculture byproduce now is being utilized. This year, Haryana has not seen a lot of farm fires in the paddy stock season as earlier before, because everything that is coming out of the field is either going to the ethanol plants or going into briquettes. So we have sustained ourselves in one way or the other.
But there are other ways also we invest in sustainability, like you invest in other sustainable companies through shares, or there are many ESG mutual funds also existing in the market.
The first example I would say is when I came out of college, I had invested, I made a company and then put a rooftop solar.
Okay.
And did a PPA.
Okay.
I was successful.
Right.
I did a PPA at 8 rupees at that time.
Right.
But yes, it was a big investment comparatively to today. And I'm into sustainable sector. I have run a compressed biogas plant. We are taking a wastage of a sugar mill or a distillery or anything from the farm produce and producing gas and giving back as fertilizer to the farmers. So there are a lot of ways where you can come into sustainable energy. But yes, people have started investing into carbon credits and all these.
That's the next big thing.
Yes. So I get my carbon credits. So I have invested on the other side because now, because of being into the sustainable sector, I am getting my carbon credits. And tomorrow, if I need to sell them, I'll earn money out of it.
Yeah.
So yes.
So you are already into this carbon credits. Oh, that's nice. But you haven't thought of investing through stocks or mutual funds in ESG sector or
Never.
So it's your own personal investment.
That one sector is still untouched, but I always see my computer open and want to go do that click. But then I'll take a step.
Something stops you.
I'll take a step back.
Now you've asked about stocks. Let me ask him a question of my interest. How do you see cryptocurrency shaping up in India? I actually want to know what people sitting on chairs think about it.
See, I had an opportunity to tell a friend way back, I think a decade back. He said, "Shall I invest?" I said, "It has a good
Crypto.
in crypto." So he said, "It looks good." So I said, "Then you can invest," because I don't know much about the future of that. And today, if I see what he invested that day and the price of crypto today of the currency he invested in, he has become a millionaire.
So you regret?
Specifically, कौन सा crypto था वो?
I think it was that Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. So you regret not doing it?
No, I don't regret. See, life में ना कभी दुख इस चीज का मनाना नहीं चाहिए कि you miss an opportunity. But yes, if you could guide somebody to take that opportunity and be successful, I think उसकी खुशी बनानी थी. और क्रिप्टो एक ऐसी चीज है जिसने लोगों को बनाया भी है और बर्बाद भी.
Yes.
Similar like stock market, you cannot blame anything.
Stock markets are regulated. Crypto ऐसा regulated नहीं है जैसे stock market.
हाँ, वो तो है ही. That's why government of India had to come out with a special act to look into this.
How do you see crypto shaping up? मतलब आगे क्या future लगता है आपको?
कौन से देश की है, क्या फ्यूचर होगा? देखो, क्रिप्टो वाज क्रिएटेड टू गेट ओवर डॉलर एट वन टाइम, बट not then these people with dollars only started building their own cryptos. अब कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट में
Anyone sitting on a computer can build a coin.
या वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, जो पहले एंटी डॉलर कंट्रीज ने एक मुहिम शुरू करी कि एक करेंसी लाओ. They were successful. They went very big. But then US companies also started doing the same thing. Or when you come into a market which is only digital bubble, you don't know tomorrow what is going to be the future. If one big cryptocurrency is hacked, then who's responsible of paying back? And that is one big risk which people have taken and have got a step back.
So coming back to your personal role in politics, so you held position in GST Council, and you promoted increase collection and lower the taxes, and then you also promoted big time Mera Bill Mera Adhikar. So did those promotions actually help in increasing GST collections, and how did it help government to have more funds or make more policies or something?
See, being on the GST Council for 4.5 years was an opportunity which I will never forget in my life.
Okay.
3 things which I had suggested will be part of the Indian taxation era for the life. First, I was the convener of the GST Council Tribunal, and successfully I could convince everybody above my age who was in the council. So nobody below my age was there. So everybody above
You
my
were the
age
youngest.
to approve my idea and our committee's idea for GST Council. And the tribunal was approved, and finally I
So that
see
was
the
your
tribunal's light taking the day, because now we are going to have the first tribunal being established in Hisar soon.
Okay.
And every state would have one, and then according to their population, they could have 5, maximum up to 5. So that was one big step, because people from the DTC would go to High Court for any dispute with the government. So now they have a tribunal in the middle, and that tribunal's order is a dispute redressal system. So that is one step. The second step was this idea which the government has unanimously passed in the council and issued to the country, was this 3-tier taxation, 5, 12 and
18.
40. So these 3 taxation structure, because earlier there was so much mess that some things had cess on it, and some would have similar structure. But if I took a note and fought with Mrs. Sita Raman in the council, that you are saying that a car which has 1800 ml ground clearance would go into a lower sector, and a bigger one would go into upper sector, and then next day I see a Scorpio with a small tail hanging in the bottom. If you sometime notice that, there's a small piece of metal with a tire on it. So that to get into a lower tax structure, they added that part for no use.
Okay.
So that was a smart thing companies started doing and cheating. But now today I'm happy that all these cars have gone into the 40% sector, because they were evading 10% cess that time.
Right.
So this was one point. So I see that. And the third was Mera Bill, Mera Adhikar. This was my idea. We started in the state, and I wrote to the Union Council that we should have it, that every taxpayer should have a lucky draw, that he should put his GST tax online to the government, and on a lucky draw, he could win up to 10 lakh rupees. So that helped us because so many people started
Yes.
asking for bills.
Right.
कि भैया बिल दे दे
दे दो.
मेरे को ड्रॉ में अपना डालना है. And I think that if you see globally, UAE has been a good example कि वहाँ दुबई शॉपिंग फेस्टिवल में वो कूपन निकालते हैं. You could win a car, you could win a house, you could win XYZ, so many things. So people are running कि बिल मिलेगा तो मैं मेरे बिल से कूपन डालूंगा. So I think that is something where you have more interaction with your affected consumer and get more out of them. And the more reporting they will do, the more taxes paid.
So Mera Bill, Mera Adhikar really encouraged people
Yes, at a
to
large
pay
extent.
more GST.
More or less on an urban part because rural people still don't ask for bills.
Bills, yes.
But yes, in the urban sectors, when I went into Gurgaon and saw the market, people were really asking for their bills because investing a minute onto uploading that bill might help them win 10 lakh rupees.
So that was a great move. Huh? So you are one of the few politicians with educational qualifications in mass comm and business and a keen business acumen. How has that education and experience helped you in your personal financial planning?
See, education has been a very integral part because I've had a global exposure, first of all. And another thing which I learned from a professor at CSU Bakersfield was that knowledge is gained by sharing, not by keeping. So once you sit with people of business acumen and you start sharing, they will share more things with you. And linking that might become a new idea to move forward. Yes, spending 4 years into American culture and their education system and then back to India and doing mass communication are two different diverse sectors of education. But yes, both of them make you learn a lot. And today also, I think there is no age for education. I was so happy to see a 60-year-old American Army veteran being into a same class, sitting right next to me and studying because he said I should get more education and look for a new opportunity now at this age. So that I would tell everybody to start investing. Padho. जब भी मौका मिले किताब पढ़ो, either go read a magazine or go read a historical data, but कुछ पढ़ो तो आप पढ़ोगे तो सीखोगे तो आगे बढ़ो.
Coming back to personal finance, what's one money mistake you have made that taught you a lifelong lesson?
I would say there was a startup that I invested in, and without even going into the integrities, a close friend came in and said that this is an idea, and yeah, I like the idea. And I invested, not a big amount, a very small amount. But in 6 months' time, that idea did not see the light of the day. मतलब जो चीज बननी थी वो ही नहीं बन पाई. So on my part, it was just an investment. But yes, I feel bad for my friend also.
Investment. What sort of startup was
It
it?
was a startup on building these card holders and something similar to that. So that was his idea. But I saw a light कि अगर कर रहा है तो I should support him in one way or the other. But yes, there out of I think 1,000 startups, only 10 or 15 could see a successful story. And there have been startups which I've invested have been successful, but they could not compete the market. They have invested into startups which have grown very well. And I've invested into startups which have seen the IPOs coming up. So that is an opportunity, I think, on first step you get, where that idea is just an idea. It's a sketch, but would that sketch become into a film that would go into a theater and be successful? Or that sketch would become a sketch that would even see the wall to be put on.
And what's the most underrated financial habit you follow?
Underrated financial habit, I think, in today's world is counting money into your pocket. Because everything has become so digital, and I felt so bad that for a table tennis tournament, I recently went to China and I was carrying yuans in my pocket. And suddenly you go to any shop and they say, do you have VPay? I said, I have a credit card. I said, no. Do you have a VPay? So you see their economy today being so fast and so digital. And then you see people in our country where everybody is just saying, oh, you have cash in your pocket. Because I think Indian mentality still is towards handling money in terms of notes than money in form in your bank account. And I think that the risk factor has increased more after this digital scams, where people are not trusting banks to secure their money. And I still remember, from that only I can link into, when I was in college. So I had an account in Bank of America. On holidays for 2.5 months, I came back to India. And I got a random email way back in 2007. I got a random email and said somebody tried to hack your account. You may change your password. An exact Bank of America page, and I log in and change my password and leave it. Go back to college after 2.5 months, and I had about $650 or $700 into my account. And you see your account left with only $20. But one good thing about their banking sector is I would go to the bank, sign one form. Within 24 hours, my money was refunded. And after 8.5 years, I got an email that they found that man who hacked my account and recovered the money.
8.5 years.
Yes. So in India, our banking sector is not giving that leverage to the clients.
Yes.
And every day there have been such big frauds. And I pity the police officers. Because now it's not the bank's job, it's the police's job to catch the criminal. And whose mistake is that? It's the bank's mistake.
Especially with the elderlies.
Yes. And now this new thing, digital arrest and all thing coming up, I think it's been a parallel economy of fraudsters who are dealing into these things.
Right. So if you had to start from scratch today with rupees 1 crore and you want to invest it for 10 years, what would be the 3 simple steps you'll follow and where you'll invest?
Investment is one thing, but where would you invest? I would either buy a good policy which gives me a regular return, and then from the return do an FD, and from that FD take a bank loan and start my own business because everything is secured.
पूरा plan है.
हाँ, that if you ask me कि मैंने 1 crore आपके वापस करने में ब्याज खाऊंगा ना और business चलाऊंगा.
That's quite a unique planning.
Because I have seen trust and fund running onto a similar model, because they would take something which has a security, get something out of that, invest into a fixed deposit, and on a fixed deposit take a loan, where everybody is secure, but you are multiplying your money.
So now, sir, where do you see a role of financial literacy with this young population? Do you think that there is a mind shift happening in this Gen Z or youth with this financial literacy as compared to the previous generations?
I think Gen Z word is very fancy today.
Yes,
because
it is,
everybody,
and the most widely used.
everybody is talking about Gen Z. Gen Z are 20 years back Americans.
Yeah.
If you see today's Gen Z, that 20 years back, what we see, which mistakes the Americans saw in terms of financials. I don't see their attitude or anything, but yes, when we talk about financial, we're becoming those citizens which have a habit of working Monday to Friday, spending Saturday, Sunday. That is not a long-term investment or a long-term saving role. It may be your life, but it is not something which you built your future onto. And I've seen the American economy. When I went there, I saw their economy crashing because I had batchmates who were running V8 engine cars and suddenly coming onto cycles because they could not pay their installments, becoming homeless and coming back to the college hostels because they could not afford a rented house. So today's Indian economy is more or less working on the similar matter. And if you see what they are spending is what their parents saved. So what are you saving for your kids? Is nothing there. That is their security, which would serve their kids in the coming 2 decades or 3 decades. So yes, we need to understand there has to be a role of investment onto you, but there has to be a role of investment into your savings. When I learned one thing when I was there from a guardian in America, that yes, live good, wear good, eat good. That should be your priority. अच्छा travel करो, अच्छा रहो, अच्छा पहनो, अच्छा खाओ, but yes, save for yourself. In 3 के बाद, it should be a saving for yourself. That is your life. You will not take anything back, but you might save so much that your future family would be helped one way or the other by that saving.
But on the contrary, I feel that Gen Z now has more risk appetite. At a very young age, they start buying stocks also, they invest in other these startups also. as compared to the previous generation. So,
20 साल पहले जो मैंने अमेरिका में देखा था, they were the people who saw IT influence in their life. Everything was becoming digital. Economy was moving very fast. The risk taking became even faster, and suddenly a crash in economy. And that crash in economy was bigger than their risk. So your risk becomes very small when the economy crashes. If we see our economy or the surrounding economies, we are just stabilized only because we have parallel economies working. It is not only one sector which you are going. But when you're talking about the next generation, these people are now investing more digitally than saving something which is physical.
yes.
There has to be a balance. If one fails, the second will support you. मैं आपको शुरू में एक चीज कही थी, land. Land in a typical Haryanavi term would be बावड़ा बेटा.
बावड़ा बेटा.
So somebody would say कि जी बावड़ा बेटा है, इसको छोड़ दो. ये जब काम आता है, जब कुछ नहीं काम आता. Because there is no risk onto that. Your land is your land. It is always with you if it's legal and clear. Nobody can take it away. You can give it to a bank, take a loan onto it. You can repay back your loan. But physical, it's under your hand. When it comes to digital, you don't know where the stocks will be in 10 years or the company would exist or not. You would not know that tomorrow your investment would multiply or just go into negative digits. So anything that is digital, it's a risk. And I think where people have been very successful today is taking that risk at large. But yes, we have seen people failing to a level where you could not even imagine. For example, this Blue Smart car company, which was providing electric taxi around NCR, I think Pan India also. One step which came into our national investigative agencies, and then their accounts and everything was seized. Whoever's investment went into that company after its IPO became 1/10 of its value within hours. So was that a good risk to take? People thought it was a good risk, but at the end of the day, your investment becomes 1/10 by one mistake or one step which was taken by the management. So you cannot foresee that risk. But buying land, I think you know what risk you are taking.
But quantum of money really varies.
Lalach.
No, I mean, buying a land needs a lot of money, and for a Gen Z to invest in a stock or something needs probably a very small amount
Land
of
na
money.
kariye. Land, just giving you an example.
Yeah.
Land is one thing where people put this as an example.
Right.
I have seen land patches around the country which are worth 1,50,000. You have values of such. गुड़गांव की वैल्यू पे मत जाओ ना कि 50 करोड़ का प्लॉट खरीदना है.
हम तो चंडीगढ़ की वैल्यू देख रहे हैं.
टिकट पे भी मत जाओ.
Exactly. So what's one money belief you think the next generation of Indian politicians or entrepreneurs should absolutely rethink?
I think when you have this belief कि बिना करे डबल ट्रिपल हो जाएगा, सबसे गलत बिलीफ है. जब तक मेहनत नहीं करोगे कोई चीज मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होगी. और आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम माय फादर, हाथ का मैल है, जितना रगड़ोगे जितना मेहनत करोगे उतना मल्टीप्लाई होगा. तो दिस इज माय वन वर्ड आंसर कि मेहनत करो.
That's wonderful.
So in your opinion, how easy or how hard is it to start a business in India as compared to West?
Oh, I think in last decade it's become very easy. जिस तरह से गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट रहा है and getting that big investment globally coming in, I think it's been very easy now to start a business because for last 5 years, as of I know, and the policies we have made, इसके अंदर फिजिकल मॉनिटरिंग तो शायद 2 डिपार्टमेंट्स की रहेगी और तो सब डिजिटल है. और उसके अंदर भी टाइम बार है 40 days का where you can get most of your approvals. So I think it's not that time which was in 1990s or 1980s जब आप इंस्पेक्टर राज के नीचे दबे हुए थे. But yes, India has now eased itself, and I think that is an opportunity for everybody to come in and invest in India. और मैंने 3 ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स आई कैन से वाज अचीवमेंट ड्यूरिंग माय टेन्योर एज इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्टर, जिसमें मारुति का 3rd प्लांट था करखोदा के अंदर, वेयर 900 acres of land was given to Suzuki Group, 800 to establish a Maruti plant, and 100 acres to establish a Suzuki bike plant. And अगर आप खरखोदा को आज जाके देखोगे तो खरखोदा की तस्वीर बदल रही है. खरखोदा from a village would become a city in less than a decade. जो लोगों को 20-20, 30-30 साल लगते थे वो हम शायद 5-7 साल में खरखोदा में डेवलप होते देखे. वैसे ही दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी जो ये अपने छोटे छोटे टैब्स लगे हुए हैं, मोबाइल्स हैं, इनकी बैटरी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है जो 57% ग्लोबल स्टेक लेती है, कॉल्ड ATL. ATL का मेवात जैसी जगह में 180 एकड़ का प्लांट हो, या एशिया सेकंड लार्जेस्ट इंटीग्रेटेड डिलीवरी ई-कॉमर्स सिस्टम का वेयर हाउस फ्लिपकार्ट का गुड़गांव मानेसर के अंदर हमने लगवाने का काम किया. आई थिंक दीज आर थिंग्स it would not have been possible about 3 decades before because of the laws, but today it is possible because the government support is there on I think every step.
So we move on to sir rapid fire round. You have to quickly answer me. One splurge item you don't regret.
Oh, there are a lot of things which I would regret, but saying one I would not regret would be tough.
But you have to name one splurge item you don't regret.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, next answer is obvious, but I would ask you, stock market or real estate, your go-to investment? How
I
do you know
think
the
after today's interview I would look into stock market.
answer? Oh, great. That's an achievement for us then. First big financial decision after becoming an MP.
In the parliament, we did not see big financial talks to happen, but yes, one big decision on the government part during my member of parliament tenure was merging the railways department into the union general budget.
Okay.
So that was one big step for Indian economy and Indian finances, and looking at the consolidated fund of India, where railways was always a different
Yes.
sector, but merging that into the union budget was one big step.
One money trend you think is overrated?
Money trend that is overrated, I think it's Bitcoin.
Fixed deposits or flexi investments?
Flexi investments.
Parliament or portfolio, what's more volatile?
I don't understand the difference between parliament and portfolio. Parliament is also a portfolio, and state legislative is also a portfolio. So,
I'm talking about the investment portfolio.
oh, I think
Politics or investment, what more volatile?
it's east and west. So you don't have a center onto that. Because I think one way you are a policy maker, and on the other side you are a policy consumer. So it's two different parts of a coin.
A business idea you wish you had bagged earlier?
Oh, I think digital education. I missed an opportunity to support a startup before COVID. So I had a young budding person who made this app to support digital literacy. Gave me a presentation, but by the time I could give him some support in terms of investment, COVID started.
Oh.
And during COVID, that company went
Yes,
on to
another
a
level.
handsome
Yes.
amount and sold it to Byju's.
Gold or stocks, what's more old school?
I think gold is and will ever be till the world will exist.
IPO hype, ride or resist?
I think resist.
Okay. One money lesson politics taught you?
There are a lot of money lessons, but yes, transparency is one thing which you learn from politics in terms of money. And the more transparent it is, I think it safeguards everybody and saves for the state.
So we wrap up the rapid fire round now. So we are on to the last segment, this or that.
So credit card or UPI?
I think I still would say credit card.
Land in Haryana or apartment in Gurgaon?
Land in Haryana.
Sensex or startups?
Startups.
Business newspaper or finfluencer reels?
This is one thing which I would always cherish in my college days. I usually read Wall Street Journal every day. So I think a newspaper gives you a better and a wider insight than these influencer reels, because somebody's idea may not be everybody's acceptance.
True.
PSU banks or private banks?
PSUs.
Invest in Zomato or starting your own restaurant?
Zomato.
Crypto curiosity or crypto caution?
Crypto caution.
Branded luxury or local craftsmanship?
I think local craftsmanship has always been bigger than branded luxury.
Invest in India or diversify abroad?
Never invest outside India. You have so much opportunity in your own country. If you could invest in your own country in one way or the other, you learn more out of it. Because one thing which nobody sees is our population.
Yes.
1.4 billion people. If you can cater, then you don't need to go run around 6 billion people.
Right. Agri-tech boom or EV revolution?
EV revolution.
So that's a wrap up on this episode of Money Matters. Whether you are building your empire or just starting out, we hope today's conversation gave you something to think about. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, rate, and share it with someone you care about. And remember, financial freedom isn't a destination, it's a mindset. And Ravina Singla signing off. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and stay invested. Thank you.